welcome to Tea and Games. Pardon the barking dogs. It happens sometimes. I hope you all, those of you in the U.S., had a very nice Thanksgiving weekend. We did. We played some games, not surprisingly, because my husband and I are casual board gamers and we mostly play games on the weekends. But it's been a couple of weeks since I did that what we played on the weekend type video. So that's what we're going to be doing today, catching up on a few games that we've hit since the last time I talked about games. Which brings me to thank you. Thank you all for your kind words on my last video. I was quite taken aback that it got such a big and wonderful response. I mean, big for a tiny channel with not very many subscribers, but a few more. I got 3 new subscribers after that video, for which I am also very thankful. And I was just kind of touched by your comments, and apparently some of you were touched by my video, and I guess that's a good thing. Thank you again so much. In the past 2 weeks, we've played 6 different games, some of them multiple times. Oh, and for the tea and games portion of this, the tea is once again Builders, like it's a British breakfast tea. And I put a piece of ginger in it, just because. Woo-hoo, ginger. As I was saying, we played 6 different games in the past couple of weeks. 3 of those games are games that were new to us. Games that are or would be on the unplayed game shelf. Ooh, yeah, we're kind of starting to do that a little bit again. But these are games that we got this year. As a matter of fact, one of them is a game that we got just a couple of weeks ago. This is a game my husband picked up at our local game store, an impulse buy. He played this little card game when he was a kid, and he just kind of saw it and went, oh, wow, nice little nostalgia pop there. So we got it and we played it. See, it says classic racing game. Classic means this is not a new game, as evidenced by the fact that my husband played it when he was a kid. But also racing. And you're just trying to get to... You're trying to get to 1,000 points, basically, by laying down cards. And there are cards that allow you to do stuff to your opponent to stop them from laying down cards with points. And there are cards that prevent people from playing things on you that will keep you from scoring points. And the game is... For those gamers who really hate luck in the game is about 99% luck. I mean, how well you do in this game depends largely upon the shuffle of the cards and what you draw and what your opponents draw. I mean, there is some decision making because on your turn, you draw a card and then you either play it down, like to your numbers there, or against your opponent, or to protect yourself from something or ameliorate a situation. Or you discard a card, either the one you just drew or one from your hand that is less good than the one you just drew. So there is a little bit of decision making. You draw a card and then you've got to decide if there's something in your hand that you want to play, or if not, what you're going to discard. But it is very, very, very luck driven. If you don't like luck in card games, you're gonna hate this. But me, I like luck in games. And I know before gamers start going all nuts in the comments about it, because I know a lot of you don't like luck, I think that luck in board games is important. I think it's actually a really good thing. I think every gamer should have some games in their collection that are very strongly luck driven. And here's the reason why. There's always going to be people playing board games, like my husband and I, who are just not very good at it. Maybe we're really good, or one of us is really good at this game, but then we're not good at that game. Or we're in a group of people and we're playing games, and there's always like one person who is less good at this game than anybody else. And games that have a good dollop of luck in them give everyone a chance to win. Even people who are not good at board games in general, and even people who are really good at board games, but just always completely bomb out at some particular game. And I think that having games that have a good, healthy dose of luck in them is something that you can bring to the table, and anybody can play it, and anybody has a shot at winning it. I mean, yeah, pure strategy games that are terribly thinky, they're fun in their own way. But that whole you'll get them next time thing of board games, well, I mean, if the game is really hard and you're really bad at it, chances are you're not going to get them next time. But on the other hand, if the game has a certain element of luck in it, and you got just a little bit of stuff that you can do, maybe you can pull out a win this time. So there really is a feeling like, yes, I could win this. And people need that. I mean, the whole point of playing games is to have fun. And I mean, if you've got someone who's playing games and they really enjoy playing games, but they just cannot win, then, I mean, that's not going to be fun for them to lose game after game after game after game. And I also think that luck-driven games are very, very important for kids. Yes, it's good. Teach your kids how to play strategy games and how to think, and be very, very proud of them when they get to the point where they can beat you. That's a good thing. But at the same time, with kids, you need stuff that's going to encourage them. You need the fun of games where it's like everybody's all in there and it's like this big scrum and anybody can come out on top. And I mean, that's fun for kids. And it also is very, very important to kids and to the gaming community in general, because those little kids grow up to be big kid gamers, to teach sportsmanship. I mean, if you're really good at a game, and I mean, you're just wiping the floor with everybody, it's like whatever you slap down on the table, you're going to have a good chance of winning it because you're just really good at board games. Well, it's not fun for other people, but also then when you do lose a game, you tend to get like, there are people who have bad attitudes. I mean, basically, they are great gamers as long as they're winning. But when they lose a game, they start going, and they get really uptight and they get really unhappy and they make everybody else unhappy too, and they stomp off. Everybody has seen somebody just like put the board away and walk off, like with that kind of body posture. Maybe they didn't explode or flip over the board or anything, but they walked away so they didn't explode. So, I mean, that's a thing. And if kids learn how to lose, then that means that there's going to be a less chance that they're going to grow up to be one of those table flipping board gamers who are not having fun unless they win. And I feel like that if you're playing games, then you should be having fun whether or not you win or lose. And I mean, that's one of my criteria for a game is it fun, no matter what the outcome is? And games that are very luck-driven, they're good because they give everybody an equal opportunity to win, but they also give everybody an equal opportunity to lose. And you're not going to win them all. And it's important to get those losing things, to learn how to lose a game and say, okay, let's do it again. Or learn how to win a game and be a good sport about it. And luck-driven games do that. So, Milliborns, if you want to have a game that is highly dependent upon luck and it's a racing game, very simple, even little kids can play it, go for it. We also got in, let me see, got to look at my notes to see what I was going to do next. Oh, we found someone else who plays Gloom, our big box of Gloom here. Upside down, our big box of Gloom here. We found somebody else who likes to play Gloom, so we have now played it with 3 players, which was a lot of fun. Always fun when you find somebody who shares your own quirky sensibilities, I guess you might say, or at least tolerates them. So we got in another game of that. We also played Welcome to A Couple of More Times. This is the dry erase pack with the expansions, the seasonal expansions that I talked about in another video. And what I've done is I've packed all of the stuff from the regular game. Yeah. Packed all the stuff from the regular game in here with the dry erase boards and the dry erase markers. And we have, and as I said, the back side of the seasonal dry erase markers, you have 4 for each of the 4 seasons: spring, summer, Halloween, and winter. Christmassy kind of holiday lights thing. We did not play the holiday lights yet. That's probably going to be the next thing that we do. We just didn't feel like it was quite there yet. But I packed all of the stuff that you need to play into this box. The flip side of the 4x4 seasonal boards gives you 16 of the regular ones. So that's what we're doing with that. I mean, if we're ever playing with more than 16 people for the regular game or 4 people for one of the seasonals, we'll get the pack out of the other box. But I grabbed it to play dry erase, and then I opened it up and I'm going like, oh, I don't have the cards and the player aids and the other building cards for, you know, it's like, and I'm going like, I really should put these all in the dry erase because this is what we're using. So did that, and we had a lot of fun playing that. We always have a lot of fun playing Welcome To. We are very, very pleased with that purchase. And because it is fall, we have broken out the Creature Comforts. And the sequel to this game, Maple Valley, is on Kickstarter right now. So if you like this, you might want to take a look at that. It's not an expansion, it's a sequel. It's spring in Maple Valley. So fall, spring. You may notice this doesn't fit. I don't have the Kickstarter version, but I bought the insert afterwards. I got the retail version, I bought the insert. And the insert is too tall for the box, so the box doesn't close all the way, which is kind of annoying. And I even looked at videos to make sure that I was packing stuff back in here correctly. But the Creature Comforts game we like a lot. I got the promo cards and I took a picture of these, but let me see. Yeah. If you can read those there. I took a picture of these, but my editing app sometimes flips things weird ways and will not accept them flipped normally. So I want to make sure I get these in. These are nifty. And I separated them out in the deck. I shuffled it like mad. I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and I shuffled and I cut and I shuffled. And when I laid out these improvements along the edge of the board, these 2 cards came up right next to each other at the top of the line of improvements. So there was plenty of time. My husband and I, in the first game we played with the 2 game table promo cards, we each were able to get the game table promo card improvement, which was kind of neat, actually. We are not super like kill each other competitive in playing these games. And that's one of the things. The only thing we don't like about Creature Comforts is, yes, the loon. In Creature Comforts, every round season, well, you do multiple seasons, a new traveler comes to the inn, and they have special abilities and special unique things that you can use, and you can go there and do trades and do stuff, but they also have actions here. Sometimes these actions give you advantages throughout the month, and sometimes they are immediate. Can you read this? It says immediately you give another player one of your workers, and you pass the workers around the table, so that effectively you have one less of your workers to place because your opponent is placing one of your workers for you. And being a competitive rather than cooperative game, they're probably going to try to figure out where on the board they can put it. That would not be a place that would be something that you would need or want or be likely to be able to fulfill. And I mean, if you're planning, you're going like, oh, this next round, oh, we've turned over the seasons. I can get that and I can get that. Yeah, and I'm going to put a worker there. And then you turn over the loon and you're looking at that and going like, yeah, right. I got one less worker to place and there was all this stuff I really needed to do this round. So we don't like the loon. We like all the other travelers, but we do not like the loon. But the loon doesn't turn up in every game because there are more travelers than there are rounds in the game. So you have a different combination of travelers because you shuffle the cards in a different order every time you play. So it's not usually too much of a problem. But I commented to a friend of mine on multiple occasions, oh God, we just hate the loon. The loon does not bring out our best selves. So, you know, he's going like, but loons they're nice birds. They're pretty. What's the deal with loons? Then we played Creature Comforts for him. Put down that loon, show him the loon card, and I'm saying like, and yes, this is why we don't like the loon. But here's the thing. That's pretty much the only take that in the entire game of Creature Comforts, and you don't even get the loon in every game. It's just like this weird little annoying visitor that pops up every now and then. But most of the game, you're placing your workers out and your opponent is placing their workers out, or opponents, plural. And you can share spots. It's not like one worker per place. You can all pile into one particular area that's got lots of good resources. So I mean, it's competitive. You're definitely playing for points. But you don't interfere with each other too much. That's literally the only case in which you interfere with each other. So Creature Comforts is actually kind of a kinder, gentler sort of worker placement game. It's family friendly. It's easy to learn. It's got adorable little meeples, animal meeples, and little houses for them. It's really, I just like it a lot. And it's very fall and winter. I got it in the spring and I said, I'm going to just learn how to play it in the spring. We'll play it a bit then, and then I'm just going to stick it away for fall after we've played a whole bunch of games, and then in the fall, bring it out and just play it fall and all winter long because it's got that cozy feel. You're making scarves and rocking chairs and eating stew and warm soup and jellies out of the pantry. And there are even board game cards where you're playing board games. You're collecting board game cards and toys and things. It's a nifty little game. Now, one game that we played, one of the new games that we played, new to us that we played, that does have you mess with your opponent is Surrealist Dinner Party. I did not back the Kickstarter for this. This is, I think, the Kickstarter version because I think that all the versions are Kickstarter versions. I'm not sure about that. But it does have like the little silver tray that you got for Kickstarter. And it plays surprisingly well with two. I held off playing it. I mean, I saw it and I got it and I thought I should probably pick this up just in case it vanishes because this is a small, quirky game. There can't be all that many people who want to play a card game about Surrealists. And if you don't know anything about the Surrealists that are on the cards, it comes with a booklet that tells you about the various Surrealists. Isn't that neat? The one thing I don't like about it is these pieces here, which are the tokens that you use for the game. Big bag of tokens, you dump them out on the table next to the plate because they form the kitchen. These suckers are cylinders. Can you see that? They are little tiny cylinders. And they've got food on them. Or wine or drama or something. But being cylinders, when you put them on the table, some of them are going to be upright, but some of them are going to roll around. So, you know, it's like there's no good way. I mean, you're going to have to put these suckers into a bowl. And I mean, this is a lot, so you need to get a bit bowl of some kind that can hold like a good handful of bits. Comes with a silver platter. I also really like that the Surrealist cards are good, big, nice size cards. Everybody plays up to 3 Surrealist, and These are their appetites, which you're trying to fulfill by putting those tokens on there, and only certain courses are served every meal. Oh, mirror. And they're put on the little silver tray, and you can serve one of your guests from the tray, or you can play drama. This is drama on your card and one of your neighbors that is adjacent to this card. If this card were my middle three, he could play the drama on one of my own cards, which might be good if I have another card that has drama that needs to be fulfilled. And there are also compliments. The yellows up here are compliments that you can play on other players. I shuffle these all up. Turn them the wrong way. But yeah, it's easy to learn and easy to play. You can play it at 2. It is playable. But that whole, this next to your neighbor and this over here, it's like on either side, that kind of thing, that's going to work better with 3 or 4, and it plays up to 4. But it plays fine at 2. And it plays very fast. That's another thing, is it plays very, very fast. And let me see, what else do we have left? I have looked at everything except this game, get this out of the way here, was the big hit of the new-ish games that we played. And we've gotten a couple of games under our belts now. We have now played Above and Below, which we bought earlier this year. We bought Surrealist Dinner Party also earlier this year, and we got Milliborn's just a couple of weeks ago. So 3 games that are not on the unplayed game shelf. This is a fun game. And it is, unfortunately, the one drawback to it. There are 2, actually, drawbacks to it. One is it takes a little bit of time to set up, because you've got to, like, separate out the people thingies or have them bagged separately, and all the different people, and lay these out and separate out the cards, and you have so many of this card and so many of that card, and then you deal out these cards and you select your little people that you're starting people. Ryan Lockett is the designer of the game and the artwork, and we love his artwork. It is a storytelling game. So yeah, you have the encounter book here, in which you flip through, and you read sections. You send your little people down into the caves down here where the Glogos are. And sometimes the Glogos are nice and sometimes they're not. We also got the Groves expansion for this, but we haven't rolled it into the game yet, because we've only done 2 plays of the game. And we just didn't feel like messing with anything else, because we're having too much fun with the version of the game. And this is great fun. It is just really, really great fun. It has that storytelling element where you go down into the cave and you have encounters and you roll the dice to see how well you do. But I mean, you do have some control over it, because who you send into the counters, they go into those caves with a certain number of lanterns, and you can have them be injured rather than exhausted for the encounter as a result of the encounter, and thereby get more lanterns, which are more encounter lanterns that the numbers have to match or be above your rolls, or less than your roll. So, I mean the same as whatever. But you roll the dice number tells you what you read out of the book, that's 1 die. And then you roll the dice for roll die for each character, and you get the number of lanterns that it says on that character, plus any extra that you throw on there, and you choose an encounter number out of the narrative book. And that's what matches up and knows what you read and what you're rolling for. So, I mean, you can play it really safe in this game, or you can just go like, I'm going to go for Explore 7, you know. Although, you know, I mean, if the maximum Explore number you could ever get using those characters is 5, you probably shouldn't go for Explore 7, you know. But it's a lot of fun, and there are a number of different ways that you can get points off of it. You get points for the buildings that you build. You get sometimes extra points for goods. You get goods on there, and those give you points, victory points at the end. You can get bonus points that come with some of the building cards that you for the buildings that you build. And there's a reputation track on there where you're going deeper into the cave. And your position on the reputation track relative to the other players determines how many points you get off of that. So there's a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of different things to manage, and you're refreshing your players depending upon how exhausted or injured you are to have them ready for the next round. Gameplay is surprisingly easy. Given that there are so many pieces, you know, you've got all of these different tokens for different goods, you have different people, you have different types of people, there are even little cave creatures. We haven't played a game where we got to draw a cave creature yet, a little encounter where we get to bring into our party one of the people in the cave. But, yeah, we like this a lot. And you can, of course, embellish on the storytelling aspect. And you want to get some idea how that goes when you just, like, go all in on the storytelling above and beyond what is written in the book. Rodney, over at Watch It Played, he has a how to play video for this, which I will link in the description. And he also has a playthrough with his friend Pep, in which they like go full on, give the characters names, fill in the backstories for them, and it is a hoot. The playthrough is, I think, in 4 parts. I will link part 1 there, and as Rodney say, I will leave you to discover the others yourself. If you like part 1, go on to 2, 3, and 4. But it is a lot of fun to watch. Whether you're interested in this game or not, you might really enjoy that playthrough. And there's one other thing that I noticed when I was like making notes for this video is, if you ask me or my husband Robert, we will tell you unequivocally that we do not like games with a take that mechanism. And yet, when I was stacking up these games here on the board, I kind of realized, okay, a lot of take that in Milliborns because of those cards you can play on other players. Oh yeah, Gloom, lots of take that in Gloom. My big box of Gloom. And Creature Comforts has the Loon. Even the nice, calm, sweet game like Creature Comforts has a loon in it that you can possibly draw during a game as one of the travelers turn over on the board. So, I mean, I'm kind of looking at this stack of stuff and 1, 2, and that, and above and below does not have a lot of take that in it. We did not mess with each other. I mean, I'm not sure how you would do that. The closest you could come to that is maybe you get a cider or buy a card that somebody else wants. And that's kind of the same thing with Creature Comforts. Aside from if the loon turns up as one of your travelers, mostly it's just like, well, I might get to a card and buy it, you know, before that other players want, just in the turn cycle before they get around to getting it. So, I mean, that's the only thing there. But I was kind of surprised looking at this stack that there were games that had take that in it, because we don't like take that. And Surrealist Dinner Party. Yes, there is a lot of take that in Surrealist Dinner Party here. I stacked it there. So Surrealist Dinner Party and Milliborns and Gloom all have take that in it. So three of the 6 games we played have a take that element, and that's not counting the Loon and Creature Comforts. Maybe I may have to reevaluate what we like. Or maybe we are just in a mood right now. I think, though, and I kind of thought about this a little bit, we don't like the Loon in Creature Comforts. We're okay with take that in Surrealist Dinner Party. We're okay with take that in Gloom. And we're okay with take that in Milliborns. I guess that's how you say it. But we don't like it with the Loon in Creature Comforts. When we turn over the Loon, if he turns up in the inn, we just look at each other and go, You know, and sometimes we will actually try to place our meeples on a spot that would be okay for the other person, because it's like, I mean, sometimes the round where the loon turns up, we're just like both of us in deep doo-doo. So we're going like, yeah, let's just not try to mess each other over on that one. But I mean, yeah, we do sometimes. It does not always bring out our best selves. But we don't like this card in Creature Comforts. We're okay with take that in these other games, but not this one. And I think the reason why is because Creature Comforts is such a cozy game. It's such a warm, friendly game. I mean, you're just going around gathering up all of these wonderful things and building nifty, neat things. And you have these cute little animeeples. And I mean, the game just has this kind of warm, friendly, nice, cozy vibe to it. And then you got this guy, this jerk that turns up at the end every once in a while. Like I said, not every game, because there are more travelers than there are rounds in the game. So yeah, we don't like it in Creature Comforts because it's just not that kind of a game. Anyhow, I think that has covered all of the stuff that we've played in the past couple of weeks. Messed up with my pen there. And it's been, as always, really good sitting around the table, chatting with you, having a glass of tea, mug of tea, sorry. And I will see you next time around the table. It's been fun. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, click the little bell to get notifications. Tell your friends. Heck, I think I got some new subscribers.